Ooh.
Great.
Hello, everybody. I'm Clare Packham. I'm in the old Thomas Cook in Horsham, where I'm hosted by Hypha Studios, who are a sick company who basically pair creatives with empty places like the old Thomas Cook in Horsham. And I'm here speaking to the wonderful, gorgeous, stunning Michelle Payne, who is a wonderful director and writer, who is now going to introduce herself, I hope.
Thank you so much. What a lovely introduction. Yeah, I'm a writer and director from Essex. Originally trained as an actor and now a writer-director.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about how I've just realised my name is The End. That's from one of the live streams we did. It was like, okay, I'm going to change my name just for the purposes of this. Packham. Gorgeous, no longer The End. Hello. We're going to be talking about directing and writing and how to get into it. Are you ready for question one, Michelle?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm nervous, but I'm ready.
Okay, it's going to be lovely. Number one, what route did you take to become a writer-director?
Great. So firstly, I trained as an actor. And as I was training, I kind of didn't see myself represented in anything at all, really, like especially stage. Not so much screen, but definitely stage was not represented, full stop. Yeah. So kind of after finishing drama school and being quite kind of feeling quite disengaged like from the industry, I decided if there aren't the roles for me, I should just go out and make some. So I started writing and then very, very quickly realised that I preferred writing and directing, and then sitting at the back of the auditorium on the night of the shows rather than like having the stress of being in something I'd written. So yes, I fell very, very quickly into the more kind of creative team role as opposed to acting.
Love that for you. Question number two, what are you up to right now? What are you doing?
Right now, I'm in a premiering. So I'm at PPA, which is a drama school in Guildford, and I'm currently directing the third year actors show, which is a show that I was commissioned to write called The Liberators. And when I met with the third years over Zoom earlier on in the year, I basically was like, what's your dream role? Like, what do you want to be when you graduate and get out into the world? What parts are you looking for? And they all told me they wanted to be in Marvel films. So I thought, why not make dreams come true and write a play about superheroes?
Love that. How was your first day of rehearsal today?
Like, good. I was really nervous. I was very, very nervous. Didn't sleep very well last night. Because it's like that. Yeah, getting back in the room, lots of people having to be like in control of the room and make sure people feel seen and supported and safe, as well as feeling inspired and energized and motivated. But yeah, no, it was good overall. I'm excited to get back tomorrow.
Yay. Excellent. Question number three. What would you tell yourself at the start of your career?
This one's a really easy one. I would say there is no right way to make the career. And I think it was hammered to me so much that like I had to go to a certain drama school, I had to do a certain thing. And there are certain avenues that like make it easier. Yeah. But I think you can only do what works for you. And if I really believe that if you really want to be in this industry, you'll make your own place for yourself. Yeah. So I would tell that as I was stressing over which drama schools I was and wasn't getting into. I would tell myself that you will make your own work regardless. So yeah, just see where you fit rather than where wants you or doesn't want you.
Perfect. And question number 4. I hope I get my numbers right. It might just be 4 forever. What piece of art has had the most impact on you out of all art ever?
I'm going to say something that I think people would maybe be like, that's not art. And that's why I'm going to say it, is musical theatre.
Yeah.
Without musicals, I wouldn't know that I could have this career. Like without my mum and dad maybe taking me to the West End once every 2 years, I wouldn't know what theatre was.
Yeah.
So I believe that like musical theatre makes it accessible for families and for small children. yeah, and really think like it's how I got started, is love of musicals, and even like Disney films like Mary Poppins and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say musical theatre. It has a real reach of like a wide like family audience, and you can grow up with it.
What's your favourite musical
in the whole world? Is
world.
So I've got like a bit of an embarrassing answer, and then I've got like two backup answers.
Love it.
My first choice is Lord of the Rings. I know that's really geeky, but the soundtrack is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's really, really beautifully, like the music is really beautiful. And on show, it was just, on stage, it was just spectacular.
Yeah.
And then my second favourite's a Cabaret, and then Hair. So like they're a bit kind of like anarchic, like protesty. Yeah.
Sick. Loved it. And moving on to question number 5. What's your favourite show and why?
The best thing that has done something to me in a theatre is Amelia by Morgan Lloyd Malcolm.
Oh yeah, I saw the live.
Yeah, it was, oh my god, it was incredible. I saw it 3 times because I just literally was like, this is not gonna roll around again in our lifetime. And then obviously we went into COVID and it was live streamed, or it was just live streamed. But oh my god, it like one of the best things, the best thing I've ever seen, but like the best experience in a theatre as well. Just really brave. Yeah, amazing.
So sick. Excellent answer. Number 6. Have you seen my updated questions list?
Yes, I've got it.
Cool, because this is a new one. Question 6. What's the most important thing for you in a rehearsal room?
So for me, I've written just 2 words that I think for this. I've written energy and presence. And I will always use the quote of hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Like, and I think that's true of everyone across the board. Like, as in like what I like to bring to a rehearsal room versus what I like my actors to bring, it's like one and the same. Like we are on the same page in terms of like, if I expect them to bring energy and presence, I have to match it or be a little bit more.
Yeah, love that. Question number 7, veering off in a different direction now. What do you think is the biggest challenge for young directors at the moment, and do you think there's anything we can do to solve it?
Hey people. I know it's not as easy. I know it's not as easy as that. Yeah, I think it's time, space, and resources. It's like time and space to make mistakes. It's time and space to observe. Yeah, and I'm sure we'll chat a little bit more about like assistant directing, but there's not enough assistant directing opportunities. And because a lot of places can't afford to have an assistant director, and I think how the hell are we supposed to develop like the next stage of theatre directors if there's not a space for them to assist and learn from people? We're just going to end up with the same people that can afford to take stuff to fringe festivals, and we're not actually going to find those people who need those paid placements. So yeah, more assisting roles. Invest in your assistant directors.
Yes. Yes. Number 8. Who are some directors or writers that have changed how you direct and write?
Yes, amazing people. Okay, so my top, I'm just always going to say him for the rest of my life, is Ryan McBride, who I assisted at the Mercury Theatre in Colchester. And I don't think it's so much that it like changed the way I direct, but I got so many new things to add to my toolkit. So like depending on the style of the show, depending on kind of what job I'm on, there were skills and things that I observed from Ryan and collaborated with Ryan that I now is a staple in my practice. And then my other top creative is my pal Mia Jerome. She was my co-director on Squad Goals. She's just really inspiring. She says it as it is. She's not afraid to ask for what she wants. I think sometimes being like a female director, I find it really difficult to be like, no, actually we need this, or like, and I think for ages I was like, oh, thank you so much, like grateful to have the space or the time or whatever it was. But Mia was so bold. She knew exactly what she wanted and wasn't afraid to ask for it. And that's something that stuck with me. I'm like, oh no, I need to take up more space as a female director. Yeah.
Love that. Oh. Anybody else?
They're like my top two.
Yeah.
Top two.
Love it. Question number 9 is, how on earth do we get assisting jobs? How do we do it?
Well, again, it is bad. It's so bad. So I got mine through the Regional Theatre Young Director Scheme. So I'm from Essex. So I'm a regional director, young director. Young is the most important word. But yeah, it's hard because what I found is, so I assisted Ryan on Cinderella, which was their pantomime. What happens now is I start applying for other assisting jobs, and the ones that are paid and that do exist are at relatively like big venues.
Yeah.
And they want you to have a minimum of 2 assisting credits elsewhere.
Right.
So it's like, they're the ones that are definitely advertised and definitely paid.
Yeah.
So where do you get the experience to get those jobs? I think I fought really hard to get my, like, for Regional Theatre Young Director Scheme, I had to fill in an application form, I had to have an interview, and then I had to wait to see if I got awarded the placement, and it was a paid placement for 3 months.
Yeah.
So I just think, if you like, how do you get those assisting opportunities? You've either got to work for free on a show and like give your time for free, or I don't, because I don't know how you get in the room for those big interviews without other big venues on your CV. So it's a bit of a catch-22. So yeah, that's something I think that needs addressing. I don't know how, I don't know who's the person to address it, but yeah, that's something I would like to kind of push a little bit harder and find out what the actual problem is there.
Yeah, fully. Tricky. Question number 10. What's the best way to introduce yourself to other directors or theatres?
Oh, I'm always going to say see their shows first, because not everything's for everyone. And like, people that, there's like places that I would really like to work that because I've seen their shows and because I know that I fit their audience.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think know who you want to work with. Once you've seen shows and you've gauged like who you like, whose directing style you like, whose writing style you like, then I would just pop an email together and just be very honest and be like, I really love your work. If there's a chance for a coffee, like let's have a chat through. I'd love to tell you about what I'm up to, or invite them to my shows. I don't normally like cold email someone. There's normally a reason to email, and it's either that I've got new stuff or they've got new stuff that I'm excited about or have seen.
Yeah. Nice. This is the last question for my quick fire questions.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a good little, Question 11. What do you think we should take forward from the pandemic and how we've worked over this time?
Definitely that ability to adapt. I think there's so much in what we've done as theatre makers during lockdown. The accessibility of streaming, like what does that look like going forward? And globally, like, can we create a better like global picture culturally if we can live stream, or like streaming in general, digital recordings? And what does like hybrid theatre look like?
Yeah.
But also, like, there's been this real like collective fight for the arts, where everyone has kind of rallied together, and I think that like that's good. I think we keep that feeling at the core, but I think it has to include representation and equity. There's no point it coming back as it was before, because it's not fair and it's not representational of our society. So I would like it to come back with that collective fight, but with everybody, like with us kind of being more open and making space for new voices.
Love it. Yeah. Okay, these are my quick fire questions. Number 1, describe your work in 3 words.
Okay, so I've got fun, female, and it's kind of 2 words, but it's hyphenated. I've got fast-paced.
Love it. Nice. Yes, That sounds like something I want to see. Question number 2 of the quick fire round, the lightning round. What are your 3 favourite theatres to work with or would like to work with? Top 3 theatres, maybe to go to actually.
Great. Well, I'm going to go with where I've worked recently that I've had good experiences.
Yeah.
So people who have paid me to do a job and looked after me. Yeah, literally. People who have paid me, looked after me, and made me feel like a worthwhile creative who's worth investing in is the Mercury Theatre Colchester. I love them very, very much. The Donmar Warehouse and the Bush.
Love it. Love it. That's the final quick fire question.
Yeah.
Give me 3 shows to watch. These can be theatre, TV, maybe a film. Who knows? Anything.
Okay, I'm gonna go all with stage shows to keep with the theatre vibes. Obviously the Liberators at PPA in June.
Yeah, obviously,
obviously the
now,
Liberators. Yeah, which your tickets are on sale. Also, I've picked 2 other things that are on sale at the moment, which is the 7 Methods of Killing Kylie Jenner at the Royal Court Theatre.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah, I'm booked. I've got my tickets. And my last one, and we've spoken about this before, Public Domain at the Vaudeville.
Oh, yeah, book that too.
Yeah, book that. Public Domain is by Francesca Forrestal and Jordan Paul Clark. They're emerging composers, and it's directed and produced by Adam Lenson Productions, but it's a new musical and it's really cool. Yeah, so yeah, that's this weekend.
Everybody go.
Yeah.
Those are my quick fire questions. Those are my long form questions.
Yay! Thanks, Claire.
You're so sick. Really inspiring, wonderful woman right here.
Thank you. So are you. Look at the space behind you. It's beautiful.
It's so chaotic.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, I should promo some things coming up in this space. Tomorrow, this is probably retrospective now, but tomorrow, live streaming here from 2 p.m, going to be writing a ballad for a musical I'm writing, Killing Time in Dartminster. And then on Thursday, might not be retrospective now, from 5 p.m, going to be reading potentially the first sci-fi novel, sort of a precursor to sci-fi novels. It's called The Blazing World by Margaret Cavendish, who was a crazy, amazing woman who sort of discovered the atom, was a scientist, but also writer, poet, playwright. Going to be discussing that and reading the entire novel because we want to adapt it into an opera, which might be a silly idea, but might also be a great idea. That could take about 5 hours, we don't know. And then on Friday, no, that's not real. That's not being live streamed. On Saturday, we are having an open rehearsal and live stream of the musical I'm writing, Killing Time in Dartminster. Come along, come into the shop, watch it online, it'd be great. And then from 9 p.m. onwards, so that's 9 till 9, and then 9 p.m. onwards, me and my friend Andy Simpson are going to be writing a show. Don't know what it's going to be. Live streaming us writing it all night. You can call in, give us ideas, teach us choreography, I don't care, do anything. And then at 2 p.m. the next day, we're going to perform it in here and live stream it. Those
hilarious
that are happening. Come along.
Oh my God, such great ideas, Claire. This is amazing.
Thank you. Oh, and also I've got an audio dream walk happening in Horsham. So you need to download the Echoes app and then walk into the centre and then put your headphones in and you can listen to some dreams. It's great. Those are my things. Those are my things. Oh, you frozen. Hello? Can you hear me? Oh,
yes, sorry. I'm on the Premiere in Wi-Fi. It just literally, you just froze and I was like,
thank you, Premiere.
Thank you, the Premiere in Wi-Fi. But at least we got through all of that without it freezing.
Yay, that was great. Well done, Wi-Fi.
Yay, that it held on. I think it's just got really rainy, so I wonder, the weather sometimes affects it, don't it?
Yeah, it does fully. Yeah. There we go.